One of the hottest cities on Earth, Jacobabad in southern Pakistan, where temperatures can reach 51 degrees Celsius. For people who live there, well, they spend their days, among other things, trying to find ways to escape this scorching heat. So as COP26 winds down, we are taking a look at what life is like for residents. Joining us now is climate system scientist Paul Beckwith, who is in Glasgow for the Climate Summit. Good morning to you.
Hello.
You were explaining to our producer that the city is approaching wet bulb temperature. What does that mean, and how will this impact the people who live there?
Well, when you have a wet bulb temperature of 35 degrees Celsius and 100% humidity, the body, of course, tries to cool down by sweating. But the liquid on the surface of the skin from the sweat does not evaporate at that temperature under those conditions. So your body is not able to cool down by itself. So if you're outside, you get heat exhaustion after about 6 hours, and you die after about 8 to 10 hours.
That is incredible. And the situation is so dire there that passing out from heat stroke is a daily occurrence, and residents regularly suffer from health problems that include severe sunburns that are all linked to the heat. What are residents doing there right now to stay cool?
Well, there are some important things that people are trying. One of the big things is to work at night during the coolest part of the day, and sleep during the hottest part of the day. Of course, air conditioning is very rare in many parts of that region. People, if they're near rivers or bodies of water, they can try swimming or having showers or baths. Some people actually sleep outside between opposing lines of traffic in a medium or something to try to get the wind as a cooling mechanism. But there's not a lot you can do, really.
Boy, that is desperation to get away from the heat, just looking for any kind of air movement so you'll lay in traffic. We know that developing nations are more vulnerable to the effects of climate change, with experts warning that these conditions only exacerbate existing poverty and inequality. So how have any pledges been made at COP26 to try and aid regions in the world that are living this way?
Well, I should first point out that it's not just developing regions that are reaching these temperatures. We reached 49.6 degrees Celsius in British Columbia. It was over 49 degrees Celsius for 3 days in a row. And then on the fourth day, the town of Lytton, British Columbia, burned down. Now, at COP, there have been a number of, we have to reduce overall climate change. We can't just lower the temperature in one particular part of the world. So there's been agreements on reducing methane 30% by 2030, stopping deforestation by 2030, and more dollars pledged for adaptation for countries that are suffering in developing countries. And also just yesterday, I think U.S. and China agreed to slow emissions by 2030. So there are some positive things coming out, but as long as greenhouse gases continue to rise in the atmosphere at accelerating rate, and as long as governments around the world continue to subsidize fossil fuels, then I would say that there's nowhere near enough being done.
Paul Beckwith, thanks so much for joining us from COP26 this morning. Interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.